Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me again this week. This week I wanted to talk about what rheumatoid arthritis does for making life choices when you find out you've been diagnosed. As we all know, rheumatoid arthritis is the gift that no one wants. Take it back. I need a refund. I don't want it. But what it does do is it gives you a bit of a warning, if not a nudge, to let you know that you probably won't age gracefully, right? So your golden years are going to look different than what you probably envisioned. And with that knowledge, you have some decisions to make. For me, when I was diagnosed in my early 30s, I was relatively healthy. I had a very curious mind. I still do. I wanted to go places and do things and have adventures. And so for me, rheumatoid arthritis kind of pushed me, accelerated some adventuring. I guess you would call it. It accelerated the lifestyle that I had always wanted for myself. But in that, I had to make the decision of like, do I live now and splurge and do what I want, when I want, how I want, however much it costs, because I gotta live now? Or do I be a little bit more prudent and save for future me and maybe future medical needs, future long-term care needs, and things like that? For me, I was very privileged and lucky to have a decent job, and my job offered a 401k with company match. And so what I decided to do was to contribute to my 401k at the very minimum for the company match. And then any other discretionary funds I had, I used. I lived on that money. I was in the streets. I was gone. And it was, for me, it was the right choice. It was the right decision. I was able to visit multiple countries. I was all over the US. I was trying new things. I'm talking going caving, jet skiing, regular skiing. Like I was outside, right? So I have memories that I can fall back on. I made friends. I had experiences that I would not have had. And I just really think that was the best decision that I made for myself. Now, as I've gotten a bit less able-bodied, that has started to slow down. And that has made me really come to appreciate the fact that I did do those things. And I have no regrets whatsoever. And I can say that because I took my last solo travel trip in February of 2020. I went to Negril in Jamaica. And as we all know, a month after that, COVID hit, right? So we was all sat down. We all had to stay in the house, right? And then for me, in the summer of 2020, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So not only was COVID hindering travel and just being out, I was then having to go through cancer treatments and chemo and surgeries and things like that, which lasted for several years for me. And coming out of that health challenge, my body was completely different. It's like I went into the cancer treatment with one body and I came out of it with a different, less functioning, much less functioning body, right? And what that did for me was it truncated my plans. Because when I went to Negril, that wasn't supposed to be my last outside trip. I still had other things I wanted to do, other places I wanted to visit, right? And so I had like a running list. And so coming out of my cancer treatment, much more disabled, what it did was it made me kind of see what would have been had I not made that decision in my early 30s to live then. Because now I'm looking at all of those other things I wanted to do and other places I wanted to go after Jamaica that I could still go, but they're just not going to be the same. And so I firsthand have that knowledge, that experience of not being able to, not being able to go. And it sucks. Like that feeling I don't like it at all. It just feels like something's been taken away from me. And so it makes me really appreciate the times that I did go out and do what I wanted and live my life. So that's what I would say. I would say if you're wherever you are in your journey, if you're newly diagnosed and you need to make some decisions, if you're able to live your life, whether that be, traveling the world or learning how to dirt bike or having kids early or whatever it is that live now means to you, I would highly encourage you to do that. And then, I'll balance that, of course, with what your future self will need, or what you think your future self would need. But live your life. And that's coming from a very biased point of view because that's what I did, but I don't care. I 100% just think you should live as much as you can right now. So this week's tip. When I was healthier, I had a lot of hobbies. I used to dance, partner dance. I took salsa lessons and Chicago step lessons and things like that. And then also, outside of traveling, I also really enjoyed fine dining. Or as my older sister would say, spending all that money on food. But I really enjoyed it. And those are things I can't do anymore. I can't really dance the way I want to, and especially not partner dance because people don't, people will grab your hands when partner dancing, obviously, right? And so I don't want to be hurt. So I don't do that anymore. And then with fine dining, with the way that I have to navigate utensils now, I don't enjoy doing that in public, especially not in a fine dining setting. So I don't do that anymore either. And so those two hobbies have dropped off for me. In the meantime, though, I have picked up other hobbies that are more sustainable as my body changes. And so my tip for you this week is wherever you are in your journey, especially if you're at the beginning, I highly encourage you to find a non-physical or a hobby that is a non-physical hobby or a hobby that doesn't require a lot of physicality now that you enjoy. And I say that for two reasons. Finding one now affords you the luxury of really vetting the hobby. Is it something you really like? Is it something that you'll do for long term? Those kind of things. You don't want to have to settle on a hobby. Like, just try some things out. So that's one. And the other reason I would encourage you to do it now is so that you can incorporate it into your life as your life stands right now, right? So it becomes something that you already do instead of it being something you find or have to find once your abilities start to deteriorate, right? Because at that point, that sustainable hobby might feel like a consolation prize, right? So instead of something that you already enjoy that you can keep with you. So it's not a replacement. It's a sustained, enjoyable activity that you get to keep. And I think that makes a lot of difference and feeling a lot less loss, right? Because we all know rheumatoid arthritis is death by 1,000 cuts. You lose a little bit of something all the time. Having this hobby already in place is one less thing that you'll have to lose. All right, that's my tip for this week. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.